Hi, I'm Katie. Welcome to my channel, Created to Create. This is episode 4.5. It's kind of a bonus episode. If you watched episode 4, you'll know that I took a trip to Hot Springs. So I went with some women from my church. It was supposed to be just a fun, relaxing trip where we could unwind and bond and just kind of renew ourselves. It wasn't really supposed to have anything to do with knitting outside of the fact that I carry my knitting everywhere I go. But as things kind of panned out, we really wound up doing quite a lot of knitting. So we decided to have a craft night, and the women were going to make floral arrangements, and I said, well, you guys can make a floral arrangement. I'm just going to bring my knitting because I don't really do flowers. And they said, that's fine. Bring an extra pair of needles and some yarn in case anyone else wants to learn. I thought, okay, so I did. Well, when the craft night happened, there were 8 of us. 2 of us, myself and one other, we already knit, like a lot. We're like knitters with a capital K. One of the women, she was a quilter and wasn't really interested in picking up another craft right now. But the other 5 women, one by one, all started getting interested in knitting. So I taught 3 women to knit the first night. I taught an additional woman to knit the second night. And the last holdout stopped on the way home from Arkansas and bought needles at Walmart and learned to knit the last couple of days. So I know that what happens in Hot Springs is supposed to stay in Hot Springs, but we actually have brought a little of that magic back home with us in the way of 5 new knitters. So I was really excited to have 5 new knitters to share with you, and I'm going to have some footage of them learning to knit and us just kind of hanging out. But more than that, we actually had an opportunity to visit 2 yarn stores in Arkansas. So where I live in East Texas, the closest yarn store is at least 45 minutes away. My favorite yarn store is about an hour and a half away. But in Arkansas, the 2 yarn stores that we found were 30 minutes away and like 10 minutes away from our condo. So of course, the second night that we were there, my friend Melissa, who's the other like knitter with a capital K, she and I decided we were going to go to a yarn store. So we drive to Melbourne, Arkansas, and we visited the Arkansas Fiber Company. And I'm going to have some video and a little quick tour from the owner of Arkansas Yarn Company for you. And then the next morning, we decided to go to Hot Springs Fiber Company, and all of my group that knits decided to come with us. So all 8 of us spent 3 hours in the Hot Springs Fiber Company yarn store. All of the new knitters have picked up a project. We're very excited. In fact, I'm actually going to have an entire additional episode telling you about the project that we're going to be working on. So be watching for that. That'll be coming out in the next week or so. But for today, I just want to give you a little bit of footage from our trip, show you a few things that we did, and mostly show you the Arkansas Yarn Company and the Hot Springs Fiber Company. I hope you enjoy. Hey, this is Katie with Created to Create. We are here in Arkansas at the Arkansas Yarn Company. This is my friend Melissa. Hello. I conned her into being on the video today. We're going to take a really quick tour of this yarn shop, and I'll have all the details and links to their app and their Ravelry page down below. Hi, so this is Lori. She is the owner of the Arkansas Yarn Company, and she is going to take us around.
Yeah. Chalkboard is made by Anna. She does all of our chalkboard art.
So what classes do you guys have, like a regular?
We have all kinds, and we teach people how to knit for free because I think it's a gift from God, and we shouldn't charge for that.
I think that's awesome.
So we teach everybody how to knit for free using our yarn and our needles, and at the end of the hour and a half, if you decide that it's not for you, there's no harm. We just spend an hour and a half getting to know each other. And there's no harm in that. So this is our classroom. We do private lessons. Those beginning knitting classes are private, one-on-one.
Wow.
And not in a classroom environment. And then back here's my dyeing studio. And we have a subscription service, and it's the Sock-Yarn Society. And we are just getting ready to ship all of this out. So we've been working on all of this.
Oh, that's awesome. Look at all this ready to go. Oh my goodness. Some people are going to get some serious goodies in the mail.
Yes, they are.
Because I'm totally leaving here with a ball of that yarn.
So we keep a large inventory. I mean business when I'm dyeing. And then we ship yarn out all over the world over here. And we just put in a new back patio, so in the fall we can be outside.
Is this stuff that's dry in here?
It is. Well, that's already dry. And
Already
it's just
dry.
ready to be twisted. And then we take it all up front and sell it.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much for taking a minute to show us.
It's our pleasure. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Katie with Created to Create, and this is Tracy. She is the owner and dyer at Hot Springs Fiber Company, and she is going to give us a sneak peek look in her dye room.
So we have a group of naked yarns, so they're ready to get the dye. But what we have over here are some 25-piece fade sets that will go along with a custom design that we'll release next week called the Deception Pass.
Look at that. It's beautiful.
And then this set over here, we have another top secret pattern that's in the works that will also use a 25-piece fade set along with an accent color.
Oh, they're beautiful. And what's this back here? What's this wall?
Well, these are traditionally used for needlepoint, but we brought them in because a lot of times if you want to do a little bit of color work, but you don't want to spend $1 million on 5 colors,
Yeah.
you can buy 8 yards for $1 and have any kind of color fade you want.
And look at all the colors. How many colors do you have? Do you know
Oh my
offhand?
goodness, over 600.
600 shades.
Yeah.
And you can buy them by the yard. That's awesome.
So this will eventually be the production area when we get it all finished out. This is where the yarn comes to get all of its tags and labels. This is some naked yarn, some upcoming lines that we're going to release soon, top secret. So, and then this is the dye studio, and again, it's a working space, so it's not always clean, but we have multiple different ways that we dye yarn. Heat setting as we apply layers of dye to get tonals here. We also have 2 large proofers, so we can do mass production. These are my favorite. These saved my life. Those are the pandas. When we get the yarn dyed and we want to dry it, we put the yarn in here and it spins at 150 miles an hour to get most of the water out before we hang it to dry. So it cuts our drying process down by 3x. So those are wonderful. And then all these beautiful jars. We are one of the only hand dyers that also dye cotton and bamboo fibers. So a viscose fiber versus a protein fiber. And that takes a completely different process with a different kind of dye. So that's what these are all about.
Awesome.
So you actually do your...
So is this drying here? It's been dyed?
That has been dyed. That's our September box for the red photo.
Oh, you're going to love that.
Yeah.
That is so beautiful. Thank you so much for doing this for us.
Okay.
All right, so you know I did not come out of Arkansas with a lot of yummy goodness. I'm going to put some pictures in of the yarn I got so you can enjoy it too.